Have you ever felt like vulnerability is a sign of weakness, or wondered how opening up to others could actually make you stronger? Brené Brown's groundbreaking book, Daring Greatly, dives deep into these questions, challenging conventional ideas about vulnerability and courage. In this summary, we'll explore the key concepts of the book, share personal stories, and offer practical takeaways to help you apply these insights to your own life. Stick around until the end, where I'll share the 5 main takeaways from Daring Greatly and how you can start implementing them today. Let's dive in. Brené Brown begins Daring Greatly with a deeply personal story. As a researcher and storyteller, she shares her own journey of struggling with vulnerability. Despite years of studying shame and human connection, she found herself avoiding the very feelings she was researching. This paradox made her realize that vulnerability isn't just a topic to study. It's a practice that requires courage, effort, and an openness to risk. Brown's honesty about her struggles makes her message relatable and compelling. Her experiences remind us that everyone, no matter how successful or knowledgeable, battles with self-doubt and the fear of being seen. By sharing her own imperfections, she creates a safe space for readers to reflect on their own fears and insecurities, making the book's message deeply personal and impactful. At the core of Daring Greatly is the idea that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. Brown defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. These are the ingredients of courage. She uses examples from her research to show that the most fulfilled and successful people embrace vulnerability as a necessary part of life. Whether it's starting a new job, confessing love, or pursuing a dream, vulnerability is always present when we dare to take meaningful action. Brown challenges the cultural narratives that equate vulnerability with fragility, arguing instead that it is a hallmark of bravery and resilience. She explains that by hiding our vulnerabilities, we also shut ourselves off from joy, connection, and growth. Vulnerability, Brown emphasizes, is the key to unlocking a richer and more authentic life. One powerful metaphor Brown uses is comparing vulnerability to standing in an arena. She draws from Theodore Roosevelt's famous Man in the Arena speech, which emphasizes that the credit belongs to those who are willing to step into the arena and face challenges, even if they fail. Being vulnerable means putting ourselves out there, knowing we might stumble or fall. But it's better to risk failure than to stay on the sidelines, disconnected from what truly matters. This metaphor underscores that vulnerability requires not just courage, but also the willingness to endure setbacks and criticism, all in pursuit of a life well lived. Brown invites us to reflect on what our own arenas look like, whether they're personal relationships, professional goals, or creative endeavors, and to step into them with a sense of purpose and bravery. Brown also explores the impact of shame, which she describes as the fear of disconnection. Shame thrives in silence and secrecy, making us feel unworthy of love and belonging. To counteract shame, she introduces the concept of shame resilience, which involves recognizing shame, talking about it, and connecting with others. Brown's research highlights that empathy is the antidote to shame. When we share our struggles with someone who responds with understanding, shame loses its grip on us. This insight is powerful because it shows that vulnerability isn't just about personal growth. It's also about building stronger relationships. Empathy, as Brown explains, creates a bridge between people, allowing us to see each other's humanity and feel less alone in our struggles. By fostering empathy in our interactions, we can break the cycle of shame and create a culture of openness and support. A recurring theme in Daring Greatly is the importance of cultivating a culture of vulnerability in our relationships, workplaces, and communities. Brown argues that leaders who embrace vulnerability create environments where creativity, trust, and collaboration can thrive. For example, a manager who admits a mistake sets the tone for their team to do the same, fostering a culture of learning and growth. Similarly, parents who show vulnerability teach their children that it's okay to be imperfect, which builds resilience and self-worth. Brown's insights highlight that vulnerability is not just a personal practice, but a collective one. When entire groups or organizations embrace vulnerability, they become stronger, more innovative, and more connected. She also stresses the importance of leaders modeling vulnerability, as their actions set the tone for others. Vulnerability in leadership is not about oversharing, but about demonstrating authenticity and a willingness to learn. One of the most practical insights from the book is the idea of setting boundaries to create a balance between vulnerability and self-protection. Brown emphasizes that vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing or exposing ourselves to harm. Instead, it's about sharing with people who have earned our trust. This distinction helps us navigate relationships with authenticity while maintaining emotional safety. For instance, being vulnerable with a close friend might look different from being open with a coworker. Learning to discern when and with whom to share is a crucial skill that allows us to engage in meaningful connections without compromising our well-being. Brown provides practical tools for identifying our boundaries and encourages us to communicate them clearly, ensuring that our vulnerability is met with respect and care. Now let's talk about how you can apply these lessons in your daily life. Here are the 5 main takeaways from Daring Greatly and how to start implementing them today. Embrace imperfection. Recognize that being vulnerable doesn't mean being flawless. In fact, perfectionism is often a shield we use to protect ourselves from criticism or rejection. Start by letting go of the need to be perfect. The next time you make a mistake, remind yourself that imperfection is a natural part of being human. Share your struggles with someone you trust to practice self-compassion and reduce shame. Over time, you'll find that embracing your imperfections not only lightens your emotional load, but also deepens your relationships with others. When you show up as your authentic self, you invite others to do the same, fostering genuine connections built on mutual understanding. Practice gratitude. Brown's research shows that gratitude helps counteract the fear of scarcity, which often fuels shame and disconnection. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a sense of abundance and contentment. Begin a daily gratitude practice by writing down 3 things you're thankful for. These don't have to be grand or extraordinary. They can be as simple as a good cup of coffee or a kind word from a friend. This simple habit shifts your focus and creates a mindset that is more open to connection and joy. Gratitude doesn't just improve our mood, it also strengthens our relationships by helping us appreciate the people and experiences that bring value to our lives. Foster empathy. Build deeper connections by listening to others without judgment. The next time someone shares their feelings with you, resist the urge to fix or dismiss their emotions. Instead, offer understanding and support. Say things like, "That sounds really hard," or "I'm here for you." Empathy strengthens relationships and creates a safe space for vulnerability. When we show empathy, we not only help others feel seen and heard, but also reinforce our own ability to connect and care deeply. Practicing empathy requires us to be present, put aside distractions, and truly listen to others, creating a profound sense of connection. Set boundaries. Learn to say no when necessary and protect your emotional energy. Boundaries are essential for healthy vulnerability because they ensure that we share our true selves without feeling overexposed or overwhelmed. Start by identifying your limits and communicating them clearly. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, let others know you need some time to recharge. Remember, setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's about creating the conditions that allow you to show up fully and authentically. By respecting your own limits, you teach others to respect them too, creating healthier and more balanced relationships. Step into the arena. Take a small risk that aligns with your values, whether it's sharing an idea at work, expressing your feelings to a loved one, or trying something new. Challenge yourself to be courageous. It's normal to feel fear or hesitation, but remember that vulnerability is the birthplace of growth and connection. By stepping into the arena, you're not only opening yourself up to new possibilities, but also modeling bravery for others. Each small act of courage builds your confidence and expands your capacity for resilience. Over time, these acts of vulnerability add up, creating a life filled with meaning and purpose. In conclusion, daring greatly teaches us that vulnerability is not a weakness to avoid, but a strength to embrace. By stepping into the arena, cultivating shame resilience, and fostering empathy, we can build more meaningful connections and live wholeheartedly. If you've made it to the end of this summary, it means you're serious about taking action to live a more courageous and connected life. The full audiobook is linked in the description if you'd like to dive deeper into Brown's insights. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Comment "Daring Greatly" below to let me know you made it to the end, and I'll do my best to like every one of your comments. Until next time.